Well, two hot topics now, and the reality of the cost of living is being laid bare this morning, with even a breakfast date at a local cafe coming in at a staggering cost. Now, the price of just two brekkie rolls, a cup of coffee each, at a country cafe in Victoria's Yarra Ranges, $53. That's just one example that the great summer break is becoming really unachievable for so many Aussies who are forced to try and make memories while maintaining a budget. And it's not easy. For their take, let's bring in 7 News reporter Nick McCallum and commentator Cath Webber. Morning to you both and Happy New Year. OK, so if this is the brutal reality, when we look at this, $53 when you've just gone out to have a bit of brekkie, what do you see the solution is here? Do we need to look at other ways, not going out and spending money at all, staying home, going on a picnic, that sort of thing?
Well, I suppose it's really difficult. If you're going on a short break somewhere, you can't avoid it, particularly in tourist areas. Even in Bayside, Melbourne last week, we ended up paying around about $50, just myself and my wife, for a breakfast, and we couldn't get an iced coffee for an hour because they were so short of staff, which is also a problem as well. Now, as the Prime Minister tours the country, as he is at the moment, he'll be being made aware of this, absolutely. And it means that this coming federal election is all about cost of living. And they have to come up with substantive policies to release it. Not just one-off relief packages, but actual structural change, particularly when it comes to energy prices and fuel prices. And they have to hope like hell that the Reserve Bank meets early in the year and decides to reduce interest rates, because that is a key for so many people.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the Prime Minister coming up and we'll be putting that to him. But Cath, in the meantime, while people are hurting so badly, does that mean that you just don't go out for breakfast anymore? And what sort of effect does that have on our mental health?
Yeah, I don't know, Mon. I mean, honestly, I cannot remember. I have shock factor every time I do the groceries. You know, like, it's just an immediate going, how did that couple of bags get to $200? Like, it's just everywhere. I drive past a petrol station and, you know, it's constantly like, how did fuel get so expensive? So it really is everywhere. And like Nick said, it is going to be an election issue, but I don't know what either party can tell us that we'll believe that will fundamentally change our minds. Because, look, Australia isn't alone in this. It is around the country, around the world, sorry. And you're right, Mon, I guess it's just priorities, as in, you know, do you have to save some here and then put some there? Or is it about creating memories like, you know, get a Vegemite sandwich and go down to the beach and, you know, go, you know, it doesn't all have to be about fancy restaurants or even, you know, going out to eat. Maybe we just have to think of more creative ways. But it is, I think everyone is really hurting. I think it's really coming home, particularly after Christmas.
Yeah,
and it's a golden rule of politics that even if it's not necessarily always the government's fault, if you are the government of the day, you will get blamed for it.
This is
Absolutely.
the issue then, isn't it, for both of you? Yep. There appears to be a massive perception issue because every time we have the Prime Minister or any of the ministers on, they go through their raft of measures. You detailed some of those earlier, Nick. But the perception is, and the way that people feel, is that nothing is helping. Nothing seems to work.
And look around the world, like you can see in the elections that have already happened, Mon, that, you know, the government of the day that's in power, it's been very hard for any of them to actually hold on to that power because perception is reality. Whereas, you know, how much, I mean, if one of these parties, either party could guarantee us that mortgage rates were going to get cut and we believe them, I mean, you'd be home and hosed. But what levers can they actually pull that we'll believe that will make a difference to our hip pockets?
And the Prime Minister didn't do himself any favours in the 2022 election by saying we are going to reduce energy prices by $275. It didn't happen. You know, politicians since the day of Julius Caesar has been promising these things, and every time it turns around eventually and bites them on the bottom, and it has with the Prime Minister.
Yep, and it makes us just not believe them the next time, doesn't it? Or not believe them at all, which is not good for any of us. All right, now finally, a massive issue of the day. Aussie beachgoers have ignited a fierce debate about beach etiquette. OK, is it OK to go down early and mark your territory? So set up a cabana or a chair or your towels early in the morning, and this can go for the beach or it can go around the pool if you're staying somewhere and there is a pool which is shared. Nick, is this smart or selfish?
Look, I hate social media pile-ons. This has become a social media pile-on, but I reluctantly have to say this time they've got it right. If you go out and lay out a cabana or lay out some chairs or lay out your towels for your entire family on the beach, I think you are obliged to then hang around and at the least bring out a paper, read a book or whatever and stay there until the rest of the people arrive. I think that's an obligation.
Yes, it's like when you go down and you nab the picnic table first, you've always got to send usually the dad down to sit there and wait from 8 a.m. Don't you, Cath?
There's opportunity here. I just think there's all you can see is just free gazebos to pick up because they're all the same colour. What's with the navy and white stripes? So who's going to... Have you got your name written on it? Like, go and... I would love to see the moment someone comes back at midday to reclaim their gazebo with someone stretched out on a towel saying, no, this is mine.
Yeah, what would you do if you just said... No,
yeah, I've got a blue and white one too.
Yeah,
There's 20 blue and white ones up here. Yours must be the other one. You know, they haven't left, you know, packed eskies with drinks and snacks, so have they? So they're obviously not too worried if the gazebo goes.
I would very much enjoy being just next to that cabana when that fight ensued.
I'd love to see that.
All right, thank you both very much. Nick, Cath, always good to see you.